Mondays with Mike. It's Monday, and I'm Mike, and it's exciting because it's rodeo time here in Houston. Everything worked out beautifully for this past weekend. The barbecue cook-off Thursday, Friday, Saturday went pretty well with some pretty favorable weather, and now we're kind of setting up for a little bit of a rough, just very, very, very beginning of the rodeo as we head into like the opening of the ag venture and the kids carnival and all of that stuff, and leading up to the start of the rodeo officially on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, with Reba McEntire. So we're going to talk about the severe weather threat across our region and our chances of seeing some strong thunderstorms here. And then also I have some stuff lined up about rodeo weather in general, because it's a long event. This is going on now for the next 2.5 weeks or so. So what's sort of typical for this time of this time of the year in March? What are some of the crazy weather events we've seen in the past? How should you prepare for what Mother Nature may still throw at us as we head out to the rodeo and all of that good stuff. So I want to start off though with just talking specifically about our next weather event, which is going to be coming in on Tuesday morning. Now, the way things are setting up right now, if you're watching this live, you step outside, you can feel the humidity on the increase, right? I mean, you can see we had clouds, we had showers this morning. I do think we'll have less rain through the day today, but that humidity is just moving in. It's coming in on a south breeze above the ground and like a southeast breeze near the ground. And that twisting of the wind indicates a front is approaching and will likely create some lift tomorrow morning and give us a pretty healthy round of some rain. I don't think it's going to be anything too terrible. We're not expecting any sort of widespread flooding threat, not even a widespread severe weather threat. There could be one or two little isolated spots, definitely. But I'm just looking at the new discussion from the National Weather Service. And so they're talking about the light showers moving in and the approach of this strong upper level disturbance here in the jet stream, and the fact that it's going to drag a front in our area. By the way, if you ever want to sound really nerdy when you're talking about weather, you talk about a faux pas. What is a faux? Not a faux pas. Faux pas. And that stands for the frontal passage. Passage of a cold front is a faux pas. So the timing looks to be between around 9 a.m. and noon for the greater Houston area. A little bit earlier out by College Station, or way out to the west of Katy, it'll be more like maybe 6 to 8 a.m. But about 9 a.m. to noon is what we're looking for the Houston area. And there are a couple of factors at play for just how much rain we're going to see. Right now, the models are showing adequate moisture for a few heavy downpours, but it's not like off the charts crazy. It looks like it's going to be one of those situations where it's a little bit of a close call, where the front may come in early enough that it's before the atmosphere sort of destabilizes that much here, and it all turns out to be over in East Texas and in Louisiana, where there could be a big outbreak of severe weather. But around here, you just need to be prepared. That it's probably going to be wet for the morning commute on Tuesday, and then there will be a brief opportunity for scattered storms around here. And this is what we call conditional. So it's like if everything goes wrong, I suppose, there could be a few stronger storms out there that have some rotation to them, but that's primarily going to be out there to the east of Houston. So let's talk a little bit about rodeo weather. We've had some years in the past where the weather has just been dreadful, right? I mean, had some major issues in the past. Sometimes there's severe weather. And in fact, that happened last year. There was a hailstorm. Maybe you were there for that. It was the night of the Jonas Brothers concert. And so if you were there early on that day, there was a hailstorm that moved in, like actually pretty large hail. Everybody had to go, run for your life kind of thing under the tents or inside, which is why it's always a good idea to have your Fox 26 weather app, because it will warn you if there's anything coming your way. If there's even if there's lightning in the area, you'll get a ping on your phone or a notification that says lightning has been detected in your area, and it'll tell you how many miles away, 5.2 miles away or something. And then you click on it, and all of a sudden, here comes the radar, and you'll be able to see, you loop it, and you're like, oh gosh, okay, well, I'm where the blue dot is, and it's coming right at us. So maybe we should go in there to the Ag Venture. Maybe we should go check out the bee exhibit, or the baby chickens hatching before all the nasty stuff rolls in. But I'll tell you, we don't really expect to see that much of that, at least not for the most part this rodeo season. So on average, rodeo time in Houston, when you look at temperature-wise, excluding severe weather, but just looking strictly at temperatures, March is actually a pretty nice time of the year to plan the rodeo. The average high temperature is about 73 degrees. The average low temperature is about 54 degrees. So we're looking at like low 70s during the day and 50s in the morning. We average about 3 inches of rain for the month in March, which is, the most rain. The highest amount of rainfall we get is in June. So like May and June will be not that we have a wet season around here, but that's where you really get those tropical downpours in June. However, severe weather does become more frequent in March, especially lines of thunderstorms. We do, as you know, as you've experienced if you've been here for any length of time, we get severe weather any time of the year. We've had big November tornadoes. We had December tornadoes this past year. We had January tornadoes the year before that. So it does happen. It's just less frequent. It does happen more frequently, though, in March. And as we head toward April, May, it does become more frequent. So that's one of the hazards that you always need to be aware of. Also, this sounds trivial, but knowing how to dress, for the rodeo. I think a lot of us have gotten caught in this kind of situation where either it starts raining and you wore your nice boots, or it's windier than you thought it was going to be, and maybe your kids, don't have a sweatshirt or something, and then you've got to go run inside and pay like way too much money, so that they'll be comfortable with a sweatshirt on or something. So that's why you want to definitely check with us, Fox Local, for your latest forecast before you head out there. But the nice thing is you always have indoor, things to do. So over the years, I was looking back at some notable weather changes. Obviously, I mentioned the severe weather, that hit last year. In 1974, it was before my time, although it may be hard to believe it was before my time. 1974, a sudden cold snap brought temperatures down into the 30s during rodeo time, surprising attendees. It kind of was a front that blew through, and maybe, back then we didn't have a Fox 26 weather app because it was 1974. And so if you didn't watch the news, turn on the news that morning, then you wouldn't have known it was coming. And then you go back just a few years ago, I think it was 2022, that was like 3 years ago, it was hot. It was really hot, like in the middle 80s. I remember being down there and just sweating, like a stuck pig, especially when you're inside with the in one of the tents, as they're preparing for the barbecue cook-off, and it was just so hot. So anyway, let's take a look at some of the setup, some of the things that we're looking at for our next round of thunderstorms, the chance for severe weather. I'll share with you what the National Weather Service is predicting for us, and then we'll take a look at some nerdy kind of things on our computer models as well. So I'm going to head back here. Next time you see me, I'm going to be back in our messy weather office so that I can share some of our graphics with you.
Here we are back in the weather office. JD sits there. Allison is over there. And Ramisha's on the other side. But anyway, sometimes I come back here because I have a computer set up at my desk here, and I record this so I could share my screen, I guess. All right, so let's get into it. Beginning with severe weather chances for us heading into early tomorrow. So let me go ahead and share my screen here because yeah, we've got a chance. It's not an especially high likelihood. So what you're looking at right now, this is the Storm Prediction Center. And the SPC is part of the National Weather Service, and they issue watches. It's a bit interesting to see how sort of the chain of command, I suppose, or areas of responsibility are, because local National Weather Service offices issue warnings. So for very specific areas, and I think that's because the local office is going to know exactly, areas that are in the path. The Storm Prediction Center issues sort of more broad-based advisories. And so at this point, if you look at today, Monday, the chance for severe weather, well, it's centered up in parts of North Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And they do break it down by threats. So, for example, this is the tornado threat, which is 5%. And this is always it is so oddly difficult to explain. I wish there was a different way they could do it. I really do. But I think what works from a scientific and sort of inside baseball sort of way, and what works as a broadcaster are two different things. So when you take a look at this map, what does it actually mean? What are they conveying? Well, in the 5% area, you'll see it down here. It's the probability of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of a point. So let's say in Dallas, there's a 5% chance if you had a circle 25 miles in any direction from Dallas, there's a 5% chance of a tornado occurring in that area. That's hard to communicate, isn't it? That's just an odd thing. And so the way I like to think about it is any county-sized area. I could put the counties on here. So if you were to break it down to like approximately a county-sized area, or maybe a little bit larger than a county, that's, I think, an easier way to think about it. So the 5% area is like any given county, or maybe, small cluster of counties. There's about a 5% chance of seeing a tornado there. That's, for Monday. And then this is the wind threat. So winds, we're talking about winds that could exceed 55 miles per hour, I believe is the cutoff. So that's a 15% area up there in the Dallas area. And then hail is 5%. So that's for Monday. But now we could look ahead at Tuesday at the convective outlook for Tuesday, and then you'll see it switches over a little closer to our area. Now, this hasn't been updated as of right now. This hasn't been updated since about midnight, or a little bit after midnight. And so this is subject to change. But for right now, Houston, of course, located right here. Houston is right here. And we're sort of right on the edge of this, very high risk area, and then a little bit of a lower risk area, and then a slightly lower risk area. So, what it means is that we're probably not going to be placed under a watch, I don't think. Let me clear all my drawings. We probably won't be placed under a watch. If we were to be placed under a watch, it would probably be like Liberty County, maybe San Jacinto County. A bit more unlikely that it would be Harris County, but it's, something that we'll be watching for. Specifically, the tornado threat is actually going to be much higher across Louisiana. So you'll see this area here. Let me just really zoom in here. Whoops. Let me just really zoom into this area. So Shreveport, Louisiana, Alexandria, Jackson, Mississippi. This is the area where you see those black hash marks. And that's always a bad sign, because that means either a very high risk for tornadoes or a very high risk for high winds. And in fact, it comes along with not just the strength of tornadoes, but what's called long track tornadoes. So let me go back here to the tornado risk area. And so there's a chance for EF2 or larger tornadoes and long track tornadoes across northern parts of Louisiana and heading into Mississippi and a little bit of Arkansas. Houston itself, right here at the bottom, just right on the edge of the 2% area. When you take a look at hail, Houston is right on the edge of the 5% area. with a much higher risk, about 3 times higher there being in Northeast Texas and back over to Louisiana. And then when you take a look at the wind threat, again, we're kind of right on the edge of the wind threat area. So it's a tough call. You know, at Fox 26, we instituted our Fox 26 Storm Alert Day. And the whole point was of the Storm Alert Day was to try to give you a heads up about severe weather or flooding, things like that, a significant threat. And so I'm very cognizant of that, and I don't want to overuse it, because when you're watching us and we have Storm Alert Day, Fox 26 Storm Alert Day, remember, that's not issued from the National Weather Service. That's us giving you a heads up that the weather is going to be significant, impactful. So I'm very aware. I don't want to overuse it. I don't want to have it every time it rains. That's not my vision for it. I really want it to be when there's going to be a high likelihood for severe weather, you know, impactful severe weather for your area, kind of for the Houston area, for the surrounding, you know, populated suburbs and stuff like that. So I haven't decided to put that on our 7-day yet. We'll see what happens when the new forecast comes out from the Storm Prediction Center. We can also, though, I want to share with you some other things that we could take a look at. And one of them here is, see if I can move this. Can I move this? Yeah, there we go. So this is a really great website. This is from the College of DuPage. And so what we're looking at right now is the HRRR computer model. Everything in science, everything in meteorology, I swear, is some kind of acronym or abbreviation always. So the HRRR, or the HRRR, is the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Model. High resolution means that it's 3-kilometer resolution, which is, as computer models go, is small. It's kind of like HDTV, you know, pixels, like how many pixels. Remember, like when cameras, it was like how many megapixels? So the more megapixels or the more pixels you have is the higher resolution. So HRRR has a high resolution, and rapid refresh means that it's updated very often. So in this case, it's updated once per hour. And then there's a slightly less lower resolution that's updated 4 times a day that goes out 48 hours. So this latest run here, I have the one that goes out 48 hours. So we could take a look here, and I could fast forward in time here, and it's showing some showers around for us this afternoon. And then sort of a lull in the activity. This is what you're looking at right now is midnight tonight. And then we could look ahead at tomorrow morning. So now we're into 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So most likely 3, 4, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're looking at showers and thunderstorms. And again, tomorrow I'm talking about Tuesday the 4th. And then, so that's sort of a preceding area of instability. And then that'll be followed by a chance for thunderstorms here, which is like around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And then this last line you see right there. Sorry, I should put an H where Houston is, because it is a little bit, it's annoyingly difficult to annotate on here. How do I change the color? Yeah, here we go. Let me just put an H. Put an H right there for Houston. HOU, because it is sometimes hard to see. So anyway, here is, 3 or 4 in the morning. Here's like 8 or 9 in the morning. And then finally, here's this last area coming through. Now, you know what I want to show you here is how dramatically the humidity is going to drop heading into the day tomorrow. And I mean, like, it is going to drop like wild. So watch this. Let me switch on surface, and then we're going to look at relative humidity. So watch this. So today we're all green. That means, like, we're 75, 80% humidity. And then tomorrow morning, it's like, 90, 100% humidity. And then see this line? That's the front. And you want to talk about a dramatic drop off. So at around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're still at like 80 or 90% humidity. And then bam, as we head into tomorrow, post front, Now it's dropping down to like 5 to 10, 15% humidity. So it's going to get super dry. We could also look at this, which is the dew point temperature, and you'll see whoosh. I mean, after that front goes through, like we're going to get super dry, which is why the National Weather Service does have what's called a fire weather watch out for our western communities. And that is to let folks like around Sealy and Belleville and Brenham and Columbus, and you guys need to just be aware that if there happens to be any little spark, there's going to be high winds. And along with that, very dry air. We could take a look at the wind gusts also. And following the passage of the front tomorrow, we're going to have this combo of really dry air. And then this pink area here to the west of Houston shows like 35 mile per hour wind gusts. So imagine you have that, you've got um, 10% humidity and 35 mile per hour wind gusts. So if you live out to the west of Houston, right now it's a fire weather watch. Depending on how much it rains out there overnight, that may get upgraded to a red flag warning. We haven't had one of those for a long, long time. And it generally is only issued when you have high winds and very dry air. And on top of that, you have what's called fuel. Fuel is like the anything that burns. And so in this case, fuel would be grassland and things like that. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be another thing that we need to pay attention to, obviously, is the chance for seeing some fire weather out to our west. Finally, I want to show you this. So the extended forecast, how's the extended forecast shaping up for the rest of the rodeo? Well, let me show you this. So here we could check out my favorite website, which is Tropical Tidbits, which is, as I mentioned, is run by a guy named Levi Cowan, who went to Florida State University like I did. And we could check out, let's go ahead and look at the global models here. Let's take a look at the GFS model and put this into motion. So this is actually the brand new run. And so this is showing Tuesday morning. So here's rain Tuesday morning. There's the rain moving out Tuesday midday, and it's all gone. Let me go ahead and draw on this again because I know it's really difficult to see. I'm just going to put an H down here for H-Town. And then put this in motion here for Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon. I mean, we've got high pressure right on top of us Wednesday. I'm telling you, it's going to be dry and sunny and beautiful coming up on Wednesday. And then even Thursday, same thing. It might start to get a little windier Thursday, but still looks great. That south wind kicks in, brings us a very slight rain chance on Friday. Here's Saturday. It looks like another little chance for rain sneaking in. And then heading into, let's see, here's Sunday looks great. Monday looks great. I mean, everything looks great. It's just we have that one problem, moving in early tomorrow. And then beyond that, everything actually looks really nice. So, I hope you all have a great rodeo. Coming up later on this week. So I want to invite you again to join us Monday through Friday. We have Forecasting with Friends, where most of the time it's more than one of us. Recently, it's just been one of us because we've got some staff, got vacations and things like that. But we do 11 to 11:30 Monday through Friday. So I hope you get a chance to tune in. We'll be doing obviously daily rodeo forecasts and updates and things like that. So you can always check with us there on Fox Local. It's exclusively on Fox Local. And I'm going to later on this week or next week, it depends because I kind of want JD there and I think he's working evenings this week. But my brother got me something that I think would be good to feature for JD's emergency gear test, but like a unboxing. So that's what I want to do with JD coming up either this week or next week. It's a it's like a power bank that you could use if the power goes out, or you could just use it to charge your phone even if the power's not out, but it's really good to have if the power goes out. So anyway, so thanks Neil for that because it was my birthday recently. So shout out to my mom and Neil. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Enjoy the rodeo. You will find me at the Ag Venture exhibit trying to pet the longhorn cattle and getting fussed at by the FFA people to not do that. So anyway, have a great time at the rodeo, everybody. Thanks so much for watching Mondays with Mike. See you later.